Ladies and gentlemen, I am back. Welcome back to Just a Guy on My Lunch Break, aka Corey. Appreciate you joining me once again. Before I get started, I'm almost at 500 subscribers. Like this close, 494 last time I checked. Ironic as it is. Have no idea why. I just get on here and I'm just some guy on my lunch break just talking to you guys every day, but apparently at least some folks out there enjoy my talks, enjoy my personality, enjoy the way I put things, and maybe it's just they enjoy the things that I talk about. I even bust on haters a little bit on here. It's debatable whether I should spend my time doing that, but hell, it's just fun, man. It's just fun. Sometimes it's fun to bust on people. I did that yesterday. I got someone else to jump in the comments and think that I was talking about them and be like, whoa, 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 so I'm going to go into that. So as if you didn't know, arguing with people online sells. Okay, so maybe I was trying to bank on that just a little bit, but it's not as though it wasn't deserved. Just as Rambo said back in the day, they drew first blood, not me. But anyway, I'm gonna go into it a little bit. If you've watched a few of my videos, rather, please hit that subscribe button. It's a free service, doesn't cost you a thing. You can watch all of my content for free and forever if you just hit that subscribe button, and I would really appreciate it if you would do that. Without further ado, I am going to go ahead and talk about a couple of these comments that I've gotten recently. So, as you know, I went on about a 10-minute rant yesterday about the whole sunglasses thing. I wear sunglasses out here every day, all right? As you can see, I am outside. It is very bright out here where I am. And more than that, I had LASIK surgery done a few years back, so my eyes are somewhat sensitive to the sunlight. I know all of you are out there, why do you keep talking about it, dude? It doesn't matter. Well, you're right, it doesn't matter, but it is kind of just what I do. And when I have haters pop on, I like to put people in their place, because a lot of people hide behind the internet to get on and just be ugly to other people. Now, there's other people that maybe they're just giving their opinion, and everyone is entitled to it, just like an asshole. Everybody has an opinion. All opinions are welcome on here, but there are times where it crosses over into a point for me where it's like, okay, that's not just your opinion anymore. You're just being an ass about it. And I'm one of those people that treats everyone with love and respect until until someone pushes just that right button just the amount of times. And then there are times, and I've been known to fire back, which is kind of what I did yesterday. But nonetheless, at Rick Nowak 4582, dude, easy with the sunglasses, okay? Do you think Joe Biden is disrespectful when he's talking in public wearing sunglasses? It is disrespectful. I love your videos. And when you just took your sunglasses off just then, you looked 100% better. You really did. You are a really intelligent dude, and you should know that. Why would you talk so much on this subject? I did trust you so much. You got it all wrong. I did not mean so much harm that it caused you. I am so sorry. I don't know if you read all of the comments. Again, I listen to your videos more than anyone else's. Peace, okay? I thought that you would get a smile from reading my comments. I really did. See, that's why words written can be completely misinterpreted. Oh, when I wrote those comments, that was the first time that I had heard you. I didn't really know you. Wasn't that like 4 months ago? Question mark. All in all, my bad. Rick, brother, I really appreciate this. That made me just have a love for this dude, because Rick was convinced that I was talking about him yesterday. No, when the channel's small like this, Rick, I remember anyone that I have interactions with. And when I have particularly positive interactions, I remember those. And when I have particularly negative interactions, I tend to remember those as well. And you're right, it was about 4 months ago when you said that about the glasses, and I don't recall you coming back and harping on the subject over and over and over and over, right? So, Rick, thank you so much, man. You apologized to me and everything, and that made me feel like I had just crossed the line and been a complete asshole yesterday. It is not at all what I was intending to do. And Rick, just to be 1000% transparent with you, you are not the person I had in mind when I made that video. I know I did mention that you had said something about the sunglasses, that it was disrespectful or something like that, but if you'll go back and listen to the video, I commented and I referenced a person who had commented 2 days in a row very recently about it. Like, they commented on one of the videos, came back the very next day and said something again about the sunglasses. At that point, it's just like, come on, dude. Come on, just don't watch. If it's that serious to you, don't watch. That wasn't you that did that. So that rant that I had yesterday was to that individual who felt like it was so important that they just had to come back 2 days in a row and try to bust me on the sunglasses thing. I will say, you say here, do you think Joe Biden is disrespectful when he's talking in public wearing sunglasses? And he says it is disrespectful in capital letters. Listen, Joe Biden is also the president of the United States, and he is the most powerful man in the nation, if not one of the most powerful people in the world, and he is addressing the American public, who need to have a leader who is absolutely trustworthy. So with that, I get where you're going with that, but that is quite different. And if I were the president of the United States, I'm pretty sure I myself, and I was on television in front of thousands live and addressing millions of people around the nation, I'm sure I would see this thing differently, and I would probably think that, you know what, people probably want to see your eyes when you are the most powerful person in the country and you're talking about things that presidents talk about. I completely concede to that, but I'm not the president, Nick. I'm sorry, Rick. I'm sorry. Rick, I'm not the president. I'm just a guy on my lunch break. I'm just some random guy on YouTube. And I will say, too, I will follow that up by saying, I was raised in a good household. And I was raised by my family and my parents to always respect individuals. And I think I do a good job of doing that. And I will say, if you and I were sitting face to face in front of one another in a particular location, and we were sitting there having a serious conversation, and we're inside of a building or whatever it is, and I'm sitting there 3 feet in front of you face to face with sunglasses on, yeah, in terms of interpersonal communication and interpersonal etiquette, I would say that's kind of disrespectful, dude. Take the glasses off. I'm right here, bro. I'm right here. But that's not what this situation is. I'm outside. It's sunny. I'm talking to a telephone right now, and you guys are all in your various locations across the country. So I think it is quite different. I do not see it as and listen, this is where, I respect your opinion. I think, Rick, if I remember correctly, you're an older gentleman, older than myself, and I'm getting there these days, but I'm pretty sure Rick is an older individual. And just to be completely honest with you, Rick, this sounds like something my father would say. And fair enough, man. You're kind of an old schooler. Back in the day, that's seen as a sign of disrespect. Show a man your eyes, whatever. Once again, I'll show you guys my eyes. They're there. But it's I'm wearing the freaking sunglasses, guys. But anyway, Rick, hey, it looked like you got your feelings somewhat hurt by my rant yesterday. Brother, I was not talking to you. It was another individual. So, let's let the whole sunglasses thing go. Let's start from square one. It is something I enjoy doing from time to time. I enjoy busting people's balls because people jump on sometimes for no apparent reason whatever and just, say whatever they feel like saying, and without, any real consequence of what their words mean, right? And there are times when I see that where I'm like, okay, well, I'll show you. I'm the one with the channel. I'm the one with the audience. So now I'm going to gaslight your ass and put you on blast. Not you, Rick, but I'm just saying in general. But thank you for coming back and apologizing, man. That I could tell by Rick's message that he was really bothered by the fact that he thought I was just busting on him in that whole video yesterday. And it may have seemed like I was indirectly because you said something about glasses at one point, but it wasn't you that sparked that rant that I had yesterday. So anyway, moving on. Angela's Tube 3809 says, dude, and she's talking about the sunglasses comment. Dude, people are funny. LOL. It's not even about shades. It's that people seem to always look for parental figures telling them what to do. First, they put you on a pedestal, and if you are not matching their expectations, then you get demoted to the asshole or whatever. Whoo! Man, hey, Angela, that hit me deep because you're very, very right about that. And I've had some very similar instances happen since I've been on this channel. Like I said, I came off of Kratom, and people kind of, were pulling for me, and then they kind of followed that process because I went to come off one time. For various reasons, I failed. It did not come off at that time. Then I came back later, and I did completely come off of it and was off of it for almost a month. And I had some people to, I think for a fact, put me on that pedestal, that very pedestal that you're talking about. And then when I ended up using again from time to time, like on the weekends or whatever, I had some people to really, really get butthurt about that. And I'm just sitting here going, bro, I'm just some guy on the internet, man. I'm just some guy on my lunch break. I'm not perfect. And when I started this channel, I never claimed to be perfect. But you're absolutely right. Even if you don't claim it, people will take you just because they see you on the internet or you have some YouTube channel. They'll take you and they'll put you on this pedestal like you're this perfect individual who doesn't make mistakes. But then when they see that you're flawed and you're human and you backslide and you have frailties just like other humans do, then somehow they want to turn on you. It's like, bro, I've been telling you guys all along, I'm one of you, man. I'm one of you. I eat, breathe, shit, have good days, have bad days, just like everyone else out there in existence. I'm no different. Just because you see me on the internet doesn't mean, I don't have the same sort of issues, the same sort of gripes, complaints, the same sort of gratitudes and blessings that all of you have. All right. And that was a really, really good comment. I'm gonna continue reading her comment here, but she said, not all people, but there are many. The same thing is reflected in people putting stake into politicians and gurus. You can continue. Words are ultimately cheap, but they can inspire, and that's what I get from it. Someone sharing experience is good enough sometimes. The news is we all are on our own and responsible for ourselves, like grown-ups, right? So you're a shady guy. Who cares? Keep the fucking shades on. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I'm not a shady guy, and whether I'm wearing the shades or not, really, like I talked about this yesterday, that should not be indicative of whether I'm trustworthy or not, because if you say that, oh, well, you're wearing the shades, so you're not trustworthy, then that sets up the belief that, okay, well, if they're not wearing shades, then they are trustworthy. And that shit ain't true, Because there's all kinds of people out there that'll look right into your eyes, no shades, no nothing, or right into the camera and say all kinds of shit that is not meant to help you, but is meant to harm you. You understand? So just want to be clear about that. But anyway, she says, so you're a shady guy. Who cares? Keep the shades on. Now back to the words. Yeah, taking Kratom combined with a bad lifestyle is a bitch. I do eat very healthy. I work out and I exercise. Kratom always made me more productive after I acquired a chronic pain condition in 2007. When I discovered Kratom, it gave me my life back and my old active, positive personality came back. It was a blessing for me. After taking it 7 years daily, it started giving me some of the side effects because my doses were too high. Living in Tuscan kind of locks you down in the summer, and I can't really exercise as much, which can be tricky. I think living in a cooler place would suit me better because I am naturally active. I tried to balance as much as possible when I am on. I hear you. I agree about the lifestyle aspect. Also, personality has a lot to do with it. Anyhow, enough said. Back to my taper. Angela, that was a great comment. Thank you so much. And you know, Angela is a very good example here of someone who, you know, life is just better with it, you know, and a lot of people got upset with me when I went back on and started taking it from time to time. Now I'm a few weeks off of it at this point. I will reiterate that. It's been roughly around 3 weeks, a little over 3 weeks for me. But I'm not saying I'll never take it again. In fact, I probably will. And I freely admit that life is better for me when I'm taking it. You know, I have trouble concentrating. I have trouble focusing. You know, my drive. The drive is definitely not there as much as it is when I'm taking the Kratom regularly. But, you know, I'm chilling just for a minute. Just for a little while to kind of see how my body feels, how my psyche feels. And, you know, for the time being at least, I'm just holding where I am. I'm kind of going to finish what I started. I'm going to try to go ahead and take it out and extend it out for a little while to see if some of that stuff changes, some of that stuff improves and gets better, whether my focus gets a little better, whether my drive or my motivation gets a little better. And there's no way to know unless you stay off of it for a little while, right? And that's kind of where I'm at. But no, absolutely. You know, there's a hashtag that says Kratom saves lives, and I believe it does to a lot of people. You know, it's relative because you can sit here and say, well, you know, it's better. There's people who were former heroin addicts and people who were addicted to stuff like, fentanyl. And very dangerous drugs like heroin and fentanyl. There's people that were addicted to that stuff who will sit and say, well, damn, taking some Kratom every day is a hell of a lot better than, you know, sitting up in a back alley somewhere on the street corner shooting up heroin, right? And, you know, it's one of those, the old adage, well, just because it's better doesn't mean it's good, right? But I think we all would agree that we'd rather see you taking some Kratom every day than we would, you know, shooting a dirty needle full of heroin to something that can stop your heart just like that, or taking fentanyl when it is highly, highly unregulated and just a very, very dangerous drug as it is, and people are just dropping dead right and left from stuff like that. So I don't think anybody would argue, yeah, of course we'd rather see you taking Kratom than something like that, but it's all relative. You know, because to a person who at one point was on heroin and fentanyl, Kratom seems like, you know, Kratom's not that bad, right? Hell, this ain't that bad. I used to shoot up heroin. I used to do fentanyl, you know, it's a little bit of Kratom. What the hell? You know, somebody like me who used to have a heavy addiction to painkillers, Percocets and oxycodone and Vicodins and stuff like that. Even to me, somebody like me, I'm like, you know, it's just Kratom, man. It's just a plant, man. It's not that bad, you know. and tend to compare the two. But then you have it's all about perspective, and it's all relative, but then there's people out there that never had any experiences with opiates, and they're one of those people that never was addicted to any sort of opiate, and then all of a sudden in the 2000s this thing called Kratom shows up, and people are like, oh shit, it's legal, it's at the corner head shop, you know, it must not be bad, right? It must be okay. And then people start taking it, and the next thing you know, for the first time in their lives at 30 years old, 40 years old, some people 50, 60 years old, for the first time in their long lives, people are having issues with an opiate-like substance, right? And a lot of times people are, are many people out there that just get blindsided by it. You know, there's a lot of misinformation that it's just this harmless, you know, botanical, and that has no side effects whatsoever, that you can't get addicted to it, doesn't have addictive properties, all this stuff. And you know, what we know now is that it may be harmless to some people, but for people out there who have a tendency to get addicted to opiate-like substances, it can absolutely be very harmful, and people can absolutely develop a soul-stealing addiction to Kratom, just like they can other things, right? So, you know, that's kind of where we're at with Kratom, and I think as time goes along and more accurate information is starting to get put out there, people are starting to understand that. One of the reasons I'm out here, you know, trying to help people understand, no, it's not the devil. No, it's not the worst thing in the entire world. I get that. And I'm not on here, you know, pointing fingers at anybody for taking Kratom and saying you're this or you're that. I agree it's better than taking heroin. It's better than fentanyl. I would even agree that it's better than the prescription painkillers that people can get, you know, at a doctor's office. But there is an issue of misinformation about Kratom because it's not regulated. And there's also an issue of it being unregulated, and people having the ability to go out there and just take as much as they want to of it. You know, and if you get a prescription of Percocets or Vicodin or something like that from your doctor's office, you can't take but so many. I mean, you can, but then you're going to run out of your prescription in a week. And then if you're getting it, say, every month or whatever, then you're going to go 3 weeks and you're not going to have any pills, right? And we all know that can be a problem. So, you know, there are some issues with the Kratom. It may not be as bad, but as we know, people who have issues with opiates tend to have trouble controlling those opiates, right? If you have trouble controlling it, then what? You think that little, you know, 21-year-old pothead that's working at the local head shop is going to question how much Kratom you're taking? You know? You think when you come in and buy another kilo and it's only been 2 or 3 days since you bought the last kilo, you think they're going to look at you and go, hey, dude, think this is a good idea, bruh? Hate to see anything happen to you, man. That's a lot of Kratom, bruh. Nah. More like, anything else, man? You want to try some of these Delta 8 gummies, dude? They ain't gonna question shit. And that's an issue with Kratom. It may not be as bad when you compare the apples to oranges. You know, it may not be as bad as the pills or the heroin or whatever else. But it also has a status of being unregulated, and people are able to buy just as much as they want to of it. There's no governing agencies that are preventing that from happening. So people are getting in a situation where they're taking 100, 150, 200. I've heard people 200 and 250 grams of Kratom per day. Per day. I mean, that's just astronomical, you know. And so you start running into stuff like that when it comes to an unregulated substance like Kratom. And that's all I'm doing. I'm not saying Kratom is the devil, it's the worst thing out there. I agree it is better than harder opiates. It's only a partial antagonist as opposed to a full-on, you know, like the pain pills and all that stuff. But the unregulated nature of it is in and of itself a problem, and the misinformation is a problem, because people need to understand that just because it's legal, just because you can buy it online, just because it's in every head shop that's within 10 miles of you. There's about 20 head shops within 10 miles of you right now, and every one of them carries about 1 million Kratom products. Just because that is the case doesn't mean it's good for you, doesn't mean it's harmless, okay? And I think that's just what that's what I'm here for. That's what I'm trying to do, is just kind of help people, you know, who have kind of been blindsided by it, understand that you could have gotten yourself into this, you could have gotten yourself into it in that way, and here are some ways that people can get themselves out of it by tapering down off of it. You know, some people can do some people like to do, you know, a complete cold turkey, which is not advisable, but there's also things you can do to kind of help ease the discomfort of withdrawal when coming off of something like Kratom, okay? And that's kind of where I come in. I'm gonna read one more here, and then I'm gonna bounce. At Micklay, Mike Clay or Mick Clay, Micclay, 7-day daily user here. I've been seriously considering furthering my flight training beyond my private pilot's license to becoming an airline pilot. There are other reasons to quit, but if nothing else, I cannot chance being arrested in a banned state. Can you imagine the headline? Pilot arrested for controlled substance in Birmingham or Indianapolis? Or what about feeling sick in the cockpit because I don't have any? I tapered down yesterday and couldn't sleep last night. I see I'm going to have to taper less aggressively. And if I'm not an airline pilot, I'd still love to not have the headache of worrying about Kratom. Yeah, hey bro, thank you so much for that comment. You know, and this is a perfect illustration that, I mean, you get people from all kinds of walks of life. This is obviously a very educated individual here who has a lot going for himself. Is a pilot, you know, looking to even possibly become a commercial pilot. I mean, this is a successful individual, right? Addiction to something like Kratom or some other sort of opiate, you know, doesn't choose sides, doesn't pick sides. You know, you don't have to be socioeconomically less and less fortunate than the next person for it to choose you. I'm a perfect example of that. My wife and I are, you know, middle upper class people. We live off of a golf course. I've got a hot tub on my back deck. Both of us have professional jobs where we make professional salaries, you know, and it's not picky. You know, an addiction to something like Kratom or some other sort of opiate, it doesn't pick and choose. You know, it doesn't matter what your socioeconomic status is. It doesn't care. And this person is a perfect example of that. I'll just reiterate a couple of the things you're saying here. Yeah, absolutely. And there have been instances where people have gone to say, you know, a state that isn't banned, bought Kratom, and then on the way back, get back into their own state where it's banned, and then they get in trouble, get thrown into jail for having a controlled substance. You know, I've heard of instances of that happening. I'm pretty sure in most states at this point it is still legal, and I know it's still federally legal, but each state controls its own jurisdiction and its own laws on whether something like Kratom is legal or it's not, right? And so obviously in some states, he mentions here Birmingham or Indianapolis. I'm assuming Alabama. I'm assuming Alabama is probably illegal, you know, based on what he said here, Birmingham. So yeah, it's a great point, man. You know, and especially if you're a pilot and you're having to travel from state to state to state. And listen, if you're taking Kratom on a regular basis, it's not one of those things where you can just, oh, you know, I've been taking it in that last 3 years straight every day from sun up to sundown, but hey, I'm going out of town next week in Alabama and I can't take it because it's illegal there, so I just won't take it. Nah, bro. You you got a lot more to think about than that. I'm not saying you can't, but you can take that trip to Alabama and not have it, and then you can be miserable for 7 days straight, and you cannot sleep for 7 days straight. And obviously, for somebody who's looking to be a commercial pilot, that ain't the move, bro. You know, you can't be in a situation of acute withdrawals and then worry about piloting an aircraft where you have, you know, 200 souls on board and you're responsible for their safety. Obviously, that's a big deal. You know, and Kratom is one of those things. If you take it all the time and then you stop, that's a problem. You get the physical withdrawals from that and the emotional withdrawals. So it's a real thing. But anyway, yeah, I agree with you, man. If you're looking to do something, make a big move like that in your career, you know, probably the best move for you, bro. I don't have anything serious like that. There's nothing really stopping me other than I just kind of want to make that change in my life. You know, my job, or, you know, there's no one in my life that's really my wife, or nobody's really asking me to stop. It's just something I'm making as far as a personal choice. But yeah, hey, that's a good reason, man. And I agree with that reason. You know, don't let something like taking Kratom stop you or hold you back from, you know, making an awesome career move like that. So, hey, bro, I'm pulling for you. I really hope that works out for you. Let us know your progress on it, what you decide to do. I would say definitely tapering aggressively is not the move. You need to do it slow and steady. Slow and steady wins the race, and that is absolutely true. Because if you go too aggressively, it's just going to be absolutely too uncomfortable. You will get the insomnia. You won't sleep at night, and then you're going to have to kind of take more. So I would start slow. Whatever it is you're taking daily, regularly, cut that down just by a little, by maybe a half gram or a gram every 3 or 4 days. Nothing too steep, nothing too extravagant. It's easy to say because when I did it, I actually went pretty steep with mine. I actually went pretty quick, but I'm just balls to the wall like that. I'm one of those go hard or go home type guys. So, you know, but yeah, as you know, especially if you're a pilot and stuff like that, you know, you might have to take this thing a little easy. You know, it will kick you in the ass if you go too hard and too aggressive with a taper from something like that. But anyway, guys, I gotta go. Love you very much. Subscribe to the channel. Like the video as well. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what your story is. And I may talk about it on Just a Guy on my lunch break. Listen, Corey's got to go. I'll see you guys next time. Have a great day. Peace.